Good afternoon, Professor Halfaker. I am talking to you from one of our school locations. I've been asked to go across town today because one of our teachers is also what's called a CPI instructor. He teaches all the staff here how to properly physically manage a child so that they aren't hurt and no deaths or injuries occur. Unfortunately, what that results in is all of us staff getting beaten on a regular basis. But here's a typical classroom here at our secondary facility. As you can see, it is nothing spectacular. It's very small. The average class size is about 8 kids or so. Um, so the question was posed, is change a good way to make enemies? I break change down into two areas. One is in entertainment, and one is in everything else. I think change in entertainment is an awesome thing. An example of that would be putting a roller coaster on top of the Stratosphere in Las Vegas. As if roller coasters weren't scary enough, they throw them on top of a 483-foot building or something like that, or how tall it is. So I think in entertainment, change has to be consistent, or else there would be no entertainment. Especially here in the United States, we get so bored so easily. Now, in the workplace or the school place, I think change is a very scary thing for a couple of reasons. Number one is the staff who have been in the area the longest are always scared by change, almost always scared by change, um, because usually it means they're forced to learn a new technology or technologies. It means some kind of time input for them. It means some kind of monetary input for them. If you're going to laptops or pads or something like that as a teacher, you're going to have something at home to be able to do your work on it. And also, as we get older, as you're probably well aware statistically, it is harder to learn. And I hear they have a new drug they're testing that will provide everybody the chance to learn at the rate of a 14-year-old, which is really awesome. If they could come up with that, I'd be in the test for that. So then it comes down to what kind of change is necessary. The change I am going to propose, in light of losing 6 employees this week at my work, is to go to prison-style desks and bolt them to the floor. And this will keep the classrooms much more orderly, control movement, things like that. Everybody I've spoken with, the only person I haven't spoken with about it is the director of the company. And I will be presenting him with it, with all the tools that I've learned in this class, through a written proposal and then hopefully a personalized meeting if it needs one. It's such a smart thing that I would hope he would agree to it. So everybody is up for that change because we're in a really bad situation right now where people are getting hurt. Another staff member was hurt yesterday. She was pushed down by one of the clients who's, a big gangly 16-year-old, and she hurt her back. I was attacked 2 days ago. I was in the middle of a girl cat fight. Luckily, I only got a few scratches on my arms from that, but the other 2 girls did come out bloody and charges were pressed. So the school situation that I work in is very challenging. So that change, I think, is going to be well accepted and implemented rather quickly. My job for the past 20 years has been to take over veterinary hospitals and implement change, nothing but change. And I can always tell which employee is going to have to go the first hour in there. It's always one who's been there the longest because they're the most reluctant to change. And that's how I have to word it. And I used to hate the ideal of that until it took me about 10 years to finally come through and say, you know what, the fight isn't worth it. Those people can either come along, and all the changes I ask of people are things that I do. I follow by example every single time, and believe it or not, it comes down to the very small things of whether or not people are willing to clean up after themselves. So change is a good way to make enemies. Every time I'm hired to come into a hospital, I'm hired to come in and change it. I make lots of enemies, and then I build a team, and I tell everybody I'm looking for a team, and I'm starting with one person. Once everybody sees me and that person team up and do good, and the place runs smoother, and that person will get pay raises appropriately, then another person will join, and another person. It takes me about 3 to 6 months, and I turn the entire staff to being a great team and standing up for one another and not lying about things, and change is implemented. It's a very painful process. It's a very heartbreaking process because I don't like having to fire anybody. But I would say, yeah, you want to make enemies, make change. Thanks a lot for the positive feedback you've been giving me via the discussion boards and the emails. I really appreciate it. Uh, there aren't enough educators out there. Also, you had suggested an EdD. A doctorate program is the next way I want to go. I have no idea how to go about doing it. I'm having a hard time finding schools that do it because I still want to work full time while doing it. So if you have any recommendations for me whatsoever, please let me know, and I swear to you I will follow through as well as I can. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.